Okay, so things are happening, events are taking place, workers around the country are standing up and speaking out for what they believe is right. So I'm just presenting to you the latest. More than 10,000 John Deere workers go on strike after failing to reach a contract. This is the latest worker strike that I have any recollection of. This is an article from NPR. It's not very long. More than 10,000 workers at 14 different John Deere locations went on strike at the stroke of midnight after the United Auto Workers Union said it was unable to reach a new contract with the tractor company. Our members at John Deere strike for the ability to earn a decent living, retire with dignity, and establish fair work rules. Chuck Browning, Vice President and Director of the UAW's Agricultural Implement Department, said in a statement. John Deere, known for its signature green and yellow farm equipment, said it was committed to a favorable outcome for everyone involved, including workers. We are determined to reach an agreement with the UAW that would put every employee in a better economic position and continue to make them the highest paid employees in the agriculture and construction industries, Brad Morris, Vice President of Labor Relations for Deere and Company, said in a statement. We will keep working day and night to understand our employees' priorities and resolve this strike, while also keeping our operations running for the benefit of all those we serve, he added. The company did not have an estimate for when the workers would return to the job or say how the strike would affect its operations. The strike at John Deere comes shortly after roughly 60,000 film and TV workers with the Union International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees voted to authorize a strike against studios to improve their schedules, pay, and working conditions. And that strike may very well happen, I believe, on Monday of next week. But do you notice a reoccurring theme here? I just gave word to the Kellogg's workers that recently went on strike. I think they've been on strike for a couple weeks now. I just recently made a video about that. I recently touched on the mine workers in Brookwood, Alabama that went on strike. They even went to New York to protest in front of Blackstone, or I'm sorry, I think it's BlackRock, probably the biggest shareholder for the institution that they work for. I mean, you have the Starbucks workers in Buffalo that are trying to unionize currently. I mean, all over the country, workers are saying almost in unison, no. They're saying no. 4.3 million employees quit their job in August. Quit, left. That's what happens, by the way, when you don't have a union to represent you. You know, you can't go on strike. You can't use collective bargaining to ask for higher wages, better benefits, whatever the case. So they just say, all right, well, I'm done with it. I don't want to do this anymore, and leave. That's what they're being forced to do. And this is absolutely unprecedented. We haven't seen anything like this in the country for quite some time. And look, it's no secret why these things are happening. We just went through one of the worst economic downturns this country has ever seen, okay? And many of these businesses, these rich, incredibly rich and wealthy corporations, they lost a lot over these months where the country was locked down, businesses were closed, some businesses are permanently closed. And what they're doing is they're trying to recoup. Not only that, but they're trying to recoup, but it's also this shock doctrine-esque type of maneuver where the country was in a state of shock, and these big businesses and corporations, the people that run the economy, step in to induce permanent change that's, of course, deleterious to the people, but it enriches them. It has incredibly positive benefits for them, but it's bad for the workforce. And so you have that going on in culmination with them trying to reap back what they lost during the pandemic, and they're doing so in the form of cutting wages, supplying more hours, cutting benefits, getting rid of pensions, all the rest. I mean, not providing the adequate funds to keep up the workplace, not providing the adequate funds to keep it safe, in COVID, from COVID. I mean, just a plethora of issues that people throughout this country are just sick and tired of. And you see the manifestations in front of our very eyes. I mean, it's absolutely astounding, but at the same time, it's extremely sad. Union representation in this country is at an all-time low. Nobody really is being represented by a union these days. That's how you have 4.3 million people walk out of their jobs just unabashedly, no questions asked, they're gone. That's how these things occur, and they'll continue to happen as long as the owner class continues to engage in the corrupted practices that they've been engaging in for so very long. But we have righteous politicians, Bernie Sanders, AOC, and several others that have stepped forth and gave a word of support to these workers that are striking. And these John Deere workers, this is actually really phenomenal. So apparently they're pretty much in complete unison on this strike. And even the workers that aren't striking right now, they are in support of the workers that are striking. It's honestly really beautiful. I've watched videos on social media of truck drivers not crossing the picket line. I mean, it's just, the worker solidarity that we're seeing among some of the workers in this country, it really puts a smile on your face. But when you think about why they're doing it and the fact that they're being forced to do this, they have no other choice. It takes that smile back off, and it kind of snaps you back into reality and just lets you know that a lot more work needs to be done. We need the PRO Act. That has completely left the conversation in Congress. It hasn't even brought back up. Hasn't even been brought back up. The PRO Act, if you don't know what it is, I suggest you look it up and just look at the pieces that are contained inside of it. It would heavily boost workers' rights in this country, heavily boost unionization. In fact, I believe it would incentivize it. And it'd just be a good overall piece of legislation to get passed. But knowing our corrupted, evil system, it won't get passed, and workers will continue to struggle. But hopefully in the future, we'll continue to see these types of uprisings, because this is the only way that they will hear us. This is the only way that our voices as workers can be heard. And I believe it's incredibly potent for the workers to do it in this way, because there truly is no other way to go about it.